Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Father Henry Carr in Etobicoke, Ontario for some OSBA matchup between Henry Carr, who comes in on 1-3 record in season, versus King's Christian, comes in at 0-6. I'm Chris McKee doing the play-by-play, joined to my left by Ryan Greco.
Always happy to be back here in Rexdale.
You too, sir.
Love it.
Well, happy holidays before we get started.
Thank you.
And we're getting into it. Lineup for starters for Henry Carr are Akende, number 2, Shaquan Clark, number 5, Michael Paulo, number 11, Shea Linton Brown is an outside 3 that just misses, and Anthony McNish are the starters for Henry Carr. And a little too hot to handle for Akende. Ball goes out of bounds. It's going to be King Christian ball.
It's going to be very interesting to see, Chris, seeing as this is one of the smaller courts in the league. As one of the coaches were actually saying for King's Christian that they actually like the idea of having a bit of a smaller court, able to spread out the floor a little bit for this three-point happy shooting team.
And there's an air ball there from Sam Thompson. Rebound Linton Brown to Akende. Henry Carr spreading the floor, trying to work it inside. Backs it down off the glass. And that's Shaquan Clark with the first basket of the game.
Expect to see a lot of that physicality from Father Henry Carr. This is a bit of an older squad facing the youngest team in the OSBA. Expect them to get physical with this team right off the bat.
So the starters for King's Christian, and there's a nice dish inside and a lovely finish from Shamar Walker. So Walker, one of the starters, number 3, number 2, Lucas Sakota, number 10, Jaden Gruel, number 15, Coleman Stuka, and number 20, Sam Thompson. Lovely spin around, gets the roll, Shaquan Clark.
There's Shaquan Clark once again finding that inside space. King's Christian's going to have to find a way to limit those abilities. That has been their biggest weakness in the OSBA this year, is giving up points in the paint. A very perimeter-oriented team.
So King's Christian spreading, lovely dish inside, the extra pass, and again another finish from Shamar Walker. So Walker and Clark getting it done for either team here early on.
Interesting setup here. You have Akende running the point, something that usually Shea Brown is doing last time we saw him here in the OSBA Game of the Week. We'll see if that pays off for them.
It's Linton Brown, shot clock winding down. He drives, and he's fouled, and that is not a good foul from Lucas Sakota. I mean, you can hear the shot clocks winding down. It's a bit of a rushed sort of effort from Linton Brown, and not the best of fouls here early on.
Yeah, Sakota, just taking a look at the replay here, Sakota claiming that he had all ball there, but I think there was just a little bit too much contact on the reach in there for there to be an issue for that.
Well, Brown misses the first.
Yeah, there was definitely a slap on the hands there.
So thanks for joining us out there in YouTube land. As Brown hits a second. We said, I'm Chris McKee, joined by Ryan Greco. If you're out there in Twitter world listening, don't forget to drop a line. My Twitter is at Mr. McKee. That's MRMCKEE. And Ryan's is?
At Ryan Greco 416. All one word.
Let us know you can hear us. Sounds coming in well as Paulo misses an easy lay-in. Linton Brown with a wide open lane.
You can't give him that much space, Chris. Shea Brown has made an entire basketball career out of attacking the basket like that despite his size.
From the corner for 3, too strong, and that's knocked out of bounds by Thompson. It's going to be Henry Carr ball. So 7:29 to go in the first quarter. Father Henry Carr with a 7-4 lead here early on.
Well, expect Father Henry Carr to be in mid-season form right now. They just got back from the Tarkanian Classic out in Las Vegas, Nevada. They got 3 games in there over the weekend, and a lot of great performances from a lot of players that we'll be seeing later on in this game. So once again, mid-season form, although despite the turnover there, I think they might have heard me and said, we'll show you, Ryan.
Well, you wonder, very young team here, what's their capability of understanding how to travel right? So 3 games in a couple days, you wonder how the legs are going to be feeling here. Back home in this cold of Etobicoke.
Oh, my goodness, absolutely. It's even cold in the gym a little bit right now, so wouldn't be any surprise that the shots are not exactly falling early on.
King's Christian looking around, shot clock winding down, not a good shot.
And that's a settle right there, Chris. That guy's not moving the ball around enough.
Wide open lay-in. Oh, lovely dish and one. Shaquan Clark's going to go to the line. Really love the dish from Akende in the corner. Great vision.
Absolutely, and that just comes from playing enough minutes together, getting to know each other more consistently. Father Henry Carr also going back to that Tarkanian Classic that they were at. A couple of new faces on the team as well, trying to get used to the settings and the system that the Father Henry Carr coaches are running here, and everyone seems to be in fine form so far to kick it off.
Kings Christian, dish inside. He's got to recognize, turn around and shoot. Air ball. Kings Christian rattled here early on, haven't got settled. Legs aren't with them yet.
Shea Brown right in his grill for that. And what a finish in the basket.
Lovely roll from Shea Linton Brown.
He was our player of the game last time we saw Father Henry Carr here on our game of the week. We'll see if he can repeat that performance again. 22 points against Lincoln Prep and a comeback win, as a matter of fact.
So Kings Christian, lovely drive. That's Lucas Sakota.
And Sakota, he is the motor that makes Kings Christian run. This is a team, despite their 0-6 OSBA record, you're not going to see them go anywhere. They're going to be here and keep fighting right to the end.
So as mentioned, the youngest team in the OSBA, but they're long and athletic.
Very
some
much
young
so.
Guys.
Absolutely, and you can see it though. You know the way that Father Henry Carr, a little bit more physically developed, bumping guys around a little bit. And we've been saying this all season. What a problem Kings Christian might be in a few seasons once these guys have grown up a little bit.
Lovely finish off the glass from Akende last time up the floor for Henry Carr. There's a foul's going to be called on Shaquan Clark. That's his first foul.
There was a great find under the basket there. Just have to be a little bit quicker and more aggressive in finishing under the rim.
So Kings Christian wants their first timeout, trailing 14-6 early on. And it's not that, Henry Carr is playing all right. It's more, the unforced errors here from Kings Christian. I've seen 3 air balls here early on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, it really kind of goes back to the intensity of which Father Henry Carr is really trying to make these guys sweat a little bit. You're dealing with a bit of a smaller court, so everything feels rushed. All it really takes is one good outlet pass, and guys are already right at the rim. And expect to see more of that from Father Henry Carr. They know this gym better than anybody. It's a unique gym in the OSBA because a lot of the other gyms, of course, we have to mention the fact that it's a shorter three-point line. Usually the OSBA, they play at a three-point line that's just a shade inside the NBA line, but here we're playing at a legitimate, true high school three-point line where it only extends to the top of the key. And really, though, at the same time, you're hoping that Kings Christian can use that to their advantage because this is a team that loves to shoot the three.
Yeah. One thing to note here from Kings Christian is they are without sort of their top prospect, Kobe Antwi. He's, one of the North Pole Hoops, top-rated prospects for 2020, and he's here in sweatpants and a golf shirt on the sideline, so he's not in. So, Kings Christian coming in 0-6 up against it already, and now without their, I wouldn't say best player, but definitely their top prospect.
Absolutely. It's hard to tell at this age. You can obviously, certain teams, certain games, you can see who's feeling it and who isn't really. And at that point, though, it's next man up. It's just another opportunity for one of the guys who's usually coming off the bench to get a chance to come and shine and say, hey, you know what, I deserve some minutes too as we continue this process that Kings Christian is really going through because, let's be honest, a lot of these guys, if not all of them, are coming back next year.
So Alex Nawaga hits them both. 14-8 now, Kings Christian trails.
We'll see if Kings Christian can recognize that, feed him down low, and get him some more looks at the foul line.
So Michael Paulo, is the guy that put up 55 a couple weeks ago against Southwest, has yet to get going, and he's not going to get going when passes are getting thrown into the Kings Christian bench like that.
Yeah,
so I think Henry Carr, a little bit too cute here early on for my liking.
Yeah. See what happens here as Carlo Dubia actually gets in now for Shea Brown after that turnover.
And a 5-second violation here from John Lewis Morvan and coaching staff from Kings Christian screaming at him because everyone in the stands knew the time was running out. So again, another unforced mental error here from Kings Christian early on.
Mm-hmm. Zone defense now, 2-3 zone for Kings Christian.
Everything locked like a 2-3 zone, as Cardinal official once said. And a lovely dish inside. Paulo can't get the roll.
You'd like Paulo to be a little bit closer to the rim there. Less finesse, more power.
And Akende, wide open look. Doesn't want it. Shot clock's winding down. There's Dubraya. And now there's a travel called on Denier Campbell.
My least favorite type of travel, You got to dribble, then step. Dribble, then step, Chris.
Basketball 101.
Thank you.
So it's great to be back in one of the TDC AA gyms. It's been a long time. Like I said, I played my high school ball in the TDC AA at Neil McNeil and Cardinal Newman. So it's just a good vibe, good feeling here on the holidays being back.
Yeah, me, myself, being there's a backcourt violation on Sakota. Some great on-ball defense there by Paolo and Dubria. But, you know, it's interesting. You know, I spent my time playing in the Ropsa and Mississauga, and we always knew anytime we'd show up in one of these gyms, it was always going to be a fight because, you know, these gyms, they're not soundproof. They're loud. You know, it's a storied tradition. These schools tend to be a little bit older, so they've got a following. They've got the fan base that's always rabid. So you give them something to cheer about, or if you screw up, you're gonna hear it from them.
They're hostile, man. I heard it from them a long time ago. Got called names I didn't even know existed. I'm still scarred from some of it, let me tell you. Yeah. So checking in for the first time is Gabe Teneza, and he dishes inside, and the ball's stripped by Dubraya. And a bit of a gift call from the ref. Looked like he got all ball.
You see stuff like that, Chris. I mean, it's always just the little things. See that pass there, hands it down a little bit too low for his teammate to go up for the basket. You put that right at his chest, and that's a foul and one. Little things that Kings Christian is going to have to work on.
So off the glass, Sakota can't get going here.
Dubria, smallest guy on the floor, getting the rebound. Here's Clytus Griffith now in the game. One of the newer guys in Father Henry Carr. He had 11 points in coming off the bench against Victory Prep over in the Tarkanian.
And a lovely dish inside and a huge block from behind from Nawaga. So Alex Nawaga, 6'7", is a young guy, and he's a class of 2020, impressing early on. He's long, athletic, and can really get up. Not afraid of traffic underneath the rim.
And that's one thing. These guys may be young, but every single one of these guys have played at least for Team Ontario at their age group. So these guys know big basketball. They know big-time basketball.
There's Dubraya, good vision, but lovely steal from Sakota. Switches, and I want to see him put that up. You know,
Absolutely.
He's got the height advantage.
Yep.
Not confident in that left hand. Lovely dish. Denier Campbell with the dunk.
And he just kept rising. He looked like he was on an elevator right there, Chris.
Kid's got hops. And looks like it's all Sakota right now for Kings Christian. From the corner for three. Can't get it to go. And that was Stuka who missed. And again, there's a wide open look. And again, not recognizing they had that. Dish inside. And can't get the roll. Alex Nawaga.
In time.
Now the good thing is they're having success going inside to Nawaga. Dubraya from the corner for three, rims out, rebound Nawaga, and that's kicked out of bounds by Campbell. It'll be Kings Christian ball.
Well, for what it's worth, since that timeout, Father Henry Carr has only been able to score 2 points.
Well, checking in is Cameron Hayhoe, Kings Christian, and as well, number 10 Jaden Gruel is going to check back in, one of the starters for John Lewis Morvan. So Henry Carr going a little bit of a press. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit out of Kings Christian as well. You know, try to create a turnover. They've been sitting back in that zone, as you mentioned, and not working yet.
The name of the game for them is it seems to be a lot of patience. I understand the reason for the zone, though. You're working with a little bit of a smaller floor on the offensive end. Try and crowd the paint, if you will, because they were getting beat pretty bad on the inside to kick off this game. But to your point, Chris, I think a little bit of a press here and there will do them some good, because we already know Father Henry Carr is coming in here energized in front of their home crowd. They've already made a couple of bad turnovers. Interesting to see what's going to happen.
Another one right there, Henry Carr ball. In the corner, Griffith drive. He's got a wide open look. Dubraya, nothing but net. Carlos Dubraya.
What a great find there by Clytus Griffith. From behind the basket, able to bounce pass it out to Dubraya. Easy bucket.
From the corner, Kings Christian can't answer. Rebound, Griffith pushing the floor. Lovely dish and a nice finish for Anthony McNish.
Give the new guy 2 assists on the game.
Griffith making an impact early on. Dish in the corner. Doesn't want it. And a turnover. 21-8. Griffith now gets the roll, and he's going to go to the line, try and convert the three-point play.
Once again, talking about a guy who literally just got on the team about a month ago. He had spent his time in South Carolina earlier this season, playing for 22 Feet Academy. decided that he wanted to be back in the OSBA, wanted an opportunity. He was previously playing for St. Joseph's Secondary School, who actually ended up winning the Region of Peel title last season in the Tier 1 division. He was the big reason for that victory. Now he's here at Father Henry Carr trying to make an impact here. Get some more exposure before he heads off to college.
And finally, an easy finish for Cameron Hayhoe. Listen, you know, Kings Christian, they've got some height. They're long, athletic. Want to see them start feeding it inside, start challenging some of these Henry Carr defenders.
You'd hope so, but they have went with a bit of a smaller lineup here, at least for the guards, but there's the find inside.
McNish goes hard in Hayhoe, and that's how you want to see a foul. It's like, don't give him a chance to finish.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that idea, though. I think one thing we've noticed is that all of the backcourt here right now for Father Henry Carr is a lot of pass-first guys, and I think it's a recognition of understanding that their successes came from in the paint, not from settling for perimeter jumpers. And we're seeing a lot of these great passes and ball movement on the perimeter moving inside, and it's so far it's paying some dividends despite the missed free throw there. They're at least getting to the line, and they still have a 14-point lead.
1:35 to go here in the first quarter, and Kings Christian just being suffocated, and he's getting charged with an offensive foul. And that's Coleman Stuka with his first foul, offensive foul.
If anyone who was watching at home there, you could see he had a wide open look down low to Gabe Teneza. But once again, you got to keep your head up when you're playing, Chris.
They got to breathe, these guys.
Yeah.
You know, they look tense, they look nervous. Relax.
Don't need to be. They're human just like you.
Dubraya, Dish has got a wide open look. Shea Linton Brown for three. Airball, no, hits the front of the rim. Sakota drive with his head down. Left-handed finish, can't get it to go. Hayhoe's got to realize, turn around, put the ball off the glass. It's in the net.
It's another illegal screen.
Illegal screen. Gabe Teneza getting called with a foul. So that's the last two times up the floor. They're getting offensive fouls, 20 feet away from the basket.
It's one thing to notice again, Chris, to your point that you were saying earlier, is that, instead of going right back up for the easy bucket, Kings Christian is really believing they're going to live and die by making the set plays. And, I think that kind of more comes from guys that are playing that are a little bit younger. They want to try and set themselves within the system, but sometimes you just got to go off instinct.
So McNish in the corner. He's got Dubraya. You can tell Dubraya, he wants it. He's hungry. You give him an inch of space, he's going to put that up. Linton Brown, jump shot, not there. And there's the putback from Campbell. And it looks knocked out of bounds, going to be Kings Christian ball. So 26.7 seconds to go here in the first quarter. And again, if you're out there, listen, don't forget to subscribe to the OSBA YouTube channel. Keep up to date on all things OSBA.
OSBA TV, ladies and gentlemen.
And follow them on Instagram at Ontario SBA.
Same handle on Twitter?
It is the same handle on Twitter, that's right. Yeah. Oh, 13 left. Drive. And I can't see, that's number 15. That's Coleman Stuka, and he's going to go to the line. Shoot two.
Stuka, another guy. He's getting a number of looks from a bunch of CIS schools and a couple of schools in the NCAA up northeast.
Hits the first.
He's got great length. Keep in mind, a younger guy too, class of 2020, and you already look at the size of him, standing 6'6". He still may have a few more inches to go. Great form when he's shooting the ball. Don't be surprised if you see him making some noise in college somewhere.
So 5-4. Winding down. Can he get it up? Griffin from the corner. Can't get it to go. So at the end of the first quarter, Father Henry Carr leads 24-12. I'm Chris McKee, joined by Ryan Greco. And we'll be right back after this break.
Some analysis and some discussion. It'll be great. Stay tuned.
Love the headman. That's a great look to you. Take your space. After that's in, though, let's remember that is a flow mechanism. That's one of our entries. We can just get through there, get into our dribble center if we need to, but nice job to find your advantage. Everyone else is A, moving off that penetration, and B, gotta get 3 to glass. That's our first form of transition defense. Ari switch, Sam and Ari switch checks. And if you're not leading the whole break, 1-2 dribbles, get us going. You all can do that. If we see them go into that press again, that was pretty good recognition. Ari started to come back. As long as we get somebody middle, right, even if it's not out of our perfect plus set, that's okay because we understand our support points and where to go. Okay, and we need to do a better job recognizing time score at the end. I don't want to have to use a timeout every time I want to set something up. We got to know now's a chance we want to go one shot so they don't get an extra possession. Shar. So what do you think you could change next time? Yeah, so just as you're recovering, get that banana a little bit more so you got an angle. Everybody else, yes, she got beat middle, but we still got to be loading to the ball to have a presence there. I do not care about the score. I care about us being great and us getting better. Offensive.
And welcome everybody back. We're back here to kick off this second quarter, 24-12, Father Henry Carr leading. I'm Ryan Greco doing your color, and I'm joined by Chris McKee. A big throwdown. Go ahead, Chris.
Anthony McNish.
Go get him.
Gets it done, yeah. So back to the action here. So first quarter, King's Christian just way too nervous. They got to slow things down. Everything's rushed.
Yes.
And again, steps on the line because he's rushing. They need to breathe a little, just kind of relax. And they're in this game, as far as the errors they've made, they're still not out of it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We're talking 14 points here. Plenty of time to get back into this.
Absolutely. I had listening to Coach Stevanovic of King's Christian during that break. Something he was emphasizing to his team was just constant ball movement on the perimeter to give themselves some open looks inside. It was working for them to a certain extent in that first quarter, and really he's just reiterating the idea of as soon as you see that pressure, you got to get rid of the ball and get it off to somebody else. Pass is what his exact quote was. And there's another pass.
And finally, a nice finish from Jaden Gruel.
And you hope that much, right? You want to see the guys move the ball around, because when you move the ball around, you're always going to give yourself a better chance to score.
So at halftime, we're going to be joined by Michael Meeks, former Canadian national team player, as Paolo misses from the corner. And as well, Canisius College, chatting a little OSBA. So Sakota with the ball inside. Stuka, and a long three, rims out. Jaden Gruel can't get it to go. Rebound, Linton Brown, lovely vision. And again, he's got the look, McNish. Good ball movement here from Father Henry Carr. King's Christian standing watching. One more, Linton Brown for three, looks good. Bounces off the back of the rim. But a big rebound. Shaquan Clark. Again, a wide open lane. Oh, ho, ho.
What a great
little
finish.
Style and flair, say Linton Brown.
And when you get the defense off the rotations like that, you can get a chance to make moves like that to the basket. Just a wide open lane there after constant passes and great hustle on that offensive board. Stuka
drives, his right hand, and he's hammered. He'll go to the line and shoot two. The last game we did up at Orangeville Prep, which was great, and we've seen, Ignas Brzdikis, and that's one thing. He makes that same move, but he's a two-handed player. He's not afraid to switch and bring it to his left hand and finish. It's one thing, this guy's got to add to his game here.
Absolutely, and when you add in the fact that Ignas Brzdikis, he's a lefty, right? So being a lefty and the fact that he always starts his dribble almost every single time from the right tells you something. It tells you that, he lives for that switch over, and it's a move that you see time and again him make. And there's no way to really stop it because he's just so tall. He uses his length. He uses his height. He stays vertical in a sense, whereas something that you want to kind of see some of these guys start getting used to the idea of, because they have the length, they have the height to go over some of these Father Henry Carr guards. They're just opting to kind of go down and try and drive their shoulder in.
Nothing but net. Shea Linton Brown for 3.
Brown, his first game was a game of the week against Lincoln Prep. He finished that with 22 points, and I believe he nearly had 10 assists.
Thomason looked like he might have been fouled by Paulo, but Paulo gets away with it. And Linton Brown kind of taking ownership for that turnover.
Absolutely. He saw an option there, but I mean, I think if your team's been feeling it so much on the passes throughout so far in this game, why not go for it?
So it's going to be a white ball. Ref saying one of the Kings Christian guys
knocked
it out.
Yeah, no, I had a perfect view of that one, Chris, and that was definitely off on a Kings Christian defender.
Akende inbounds. Paulo. Akende drives. He's got Paulo in the corner for 3. Can't get it to go. Big rebound, McNish. Anthony McNish
With
the dish. It's too easy. It's too easy. Come on.
Big player, big body. 26 points against Victory Prep over at during that Tarkanian Classic, one of the top prep schools in Texas. Don't tell him that, though. He was dominating down low.
McNish takes it to the hoop hard, but he's fouled by Jaden Gruel.
And just a brief thing about McNish, talking to the Father Henry Carr coaching staff before this game, they were just blown away by his effort and the numbers that he put up in that tournament. And consider this this is going to be an ongoing talking point in this game for me, because that Classic is an accumulation of some of the absolute best talent in North America. And when you have teams from Canada going a combined 8-2 in that tournament, it's one of the more impressive finishes I think we've ever seen for Canadian basketball at the amateur level. And when you have players like McNish having games like that against arguably one of the best prep schools in all of Texas, you know, a state that's known for its athletics.
Darn right.
I mean, that's an impressive stat line for anybody, let alone Canadians.
Miss Shamar Walker misses there. Kings Christian's got to start hitting some of these wide open looks.
Absolutely.
And there's a travel they're calling on Shaquan Clark. Clark not too happy about that. So 33-15, 6:31 to go in the half. Henry Carr cruising.
We've got number 4 for Kings Christian back in the game, Nuega. He was a problem earlier in this quarter. We'll see if they can try and find him the ball down low a little bit more consistently.
Kings Christian trying to find space, can't get it. Stuka puts it up, and he's going to go to the line again. Not a bad play.
No, not at all. If you get the foul, it's a great call. Although I can imagine that Coach Stevanovic would prefer to have a little bit more ball movement. But at some point, you got to just do what you got to do at some points.
Well, Stuka hits the first. One of several Kings Christian players that played his club ball for the Burlington Panthers.
This is a Kings Christian school based out of Oakville. Had a chance to go there earlier in the season. What a beautiful gym that is, Chris, if you haven't been there.
I can imagine. I know I have a friend that went to the school. I know it's a lovely school.
It actually, you don't feel like you're playing in a gym as much as you feel like you're playing in some sort of mezzanine.
A cathedral.
It's like some sort of cathedral or royalty of basketball thing going on there. And they have a track that runs right around the top of the gymnasium. I mean, it really actually looks more like one of those high-end rec center gyms as opposed to a high school gym.
I like this high school feel. Like I said, this is, I'm born and raised in this kind of environment. This is kind of what high school basketball feels like to me. I like this.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you look at all the banners on the wall here for multiple sports for Father Henry Carr School. It's been around since the late 70s. Or mid-70s, if you will. I mean, they were winning as soon as they got out the gate. I mean, I'm looking at banners here from 1975.
Oh, they were one of the better programs. When I was playing high school ball, it was Henry Carr, always definitely a good team.
Yeah, I don't think they went a year. I don't think they've gone a single year without winning some sort of title in their sports. And, of course, them with getting the endorsement from the Jordan brand, getting some exposure nationally, playing at the Jordan Brand Classic last year during the All-Star weekends. Some of their players getting some big opportunities down south now. You also have alumni like Jalen Poyser now starting for UNLV. Expect him to be a name coming up in the draft soon. Father Henry Carr, they've got a lot of things to look forward to in the near future.
No doubt. So back to the action here. 6:05 to go in the half. Akende with the ball for Henry Carr. Linton Brown looking for space. And again, Paulo really hasn't gotten off at all. I think he's got 2 points maybe.
Yeah.
Shot clock winding down. Akende doesn't even hit the rim. A rebound, Kings Christian.
Akende's had a rough start to the game as well, actually. Usually a guy who gets going right away.
So Sakota drives, and he's fouled. Yeah, it is going to be a defensive foul on Paulo.
Yeah, that was one of those situations there where, you know, the hands were moving a little bit too much. The feet were continuing to move. Blocking foul for the ref.
Paulo, like I said, hasn't got going, but last week was the City TV Athlete of the Week, which, you know, for me, that's always an honor growing up as an athlete in the city. I always dreamed of getting that honor one day, and so, you know, that's one of those things, no matter what you go on to do in life, that he'll remember being that City TV Athlete of the Week. Yeah,
you get the little profile, a little bit of TV time. You got Shea Brown right in front of us, who was won last year as well.
Back in April, I looked that up, as well.
That's right.
Always a good honor.
Yep. And like I said, you know, he was injured for the first part of the season, so it's good to see him on the floor.
Paulo drives McNish with the dish back again.
And McNish, just look at the size of him, though. I mean, just, you know, he's the size of some of their bigger players on Kings Christian, plus an extra 20 or 30 pounds.
Yeah.
And you just he looks like down there he's playing as a man amongst boys.
He looks like a college player. He looks college ready. He's got those shoulders on him.
Absolutely.
Looking like a young Karl Malone.
He's got the right number on too.
That's right. Yeah. I wonder if he drives tractor trailers like Malone does in his spare time.
Here's Clytus Griffith now in for Paulo. See if his good game is going to continue.
Linton Brown. And there's McNish. It's worked all day. Keep feeding him.
Great defense there,
look.
though.
He's got a wide open look. Griffin, one more. Denier Campbell, air ball. Kings Christian's got numbers. 2-on-1, no. Roll off the glass.
Ooh,
Gets
nice touch.
The roll.
What a finish.
John Lewis Morvan. Great vision, but McNish couldn't handle it. Griffith drives. And a nice block again.
Yep. That's that team
There's
defense.
Malaga. Yeah.
Team defense. That 2-3 zone starting to take effect right now. Great
Walker.
shot.
So Shamar Walker gets the three.
And they're only down by 12 now. We got ourselves a bit of a game going on.
35-23, 4:30 to go in the half. Kings Christian hanging around despite a ton of turnovers and mental errors. Oh, great vision inside. The Griffin can't finish.
Griffith,
this is one of the reasons why Kings Christian's still hanging around.
Absolutely.
And that's the second time. Oh, he almost got called for an over and back. He walks out of bounds. Sakota's got to calm down. He's so wild with the ball. He already had an over and back, almost had another one, and then walks out of bounds there.
Father Henry Carr, I honestly believe, Chris, that they got away with that one there because you could have easily called that a blocking foul too.
No doubt. Henry Carr reset. You can see Kings Christian looking a little gassed here.
This is the kind of defense they're going to need to play, though, if they're going to get back into this game.
And Denier Campbell gets called with a travel.
And give them full credit right now. In this second half of this quarter, they've really locked it down, denying any possible paths to the basket, with the exception of that one giveaway to Griffith.
And here we are, Lucas Sakota. Wide open look for three. Stuka, nothing but net. Big three for Kings Christian.
And then just remember, folks, shorter three-point line. That's a mid-range jumper to these kids in this league.
He's got a wide open look at Kende, and he's going to get called with the travel. I don't know why he just didn't put it up. He had plenty of space.
I think that's just part of the philosophy right now for Father Henry Carr, really, because to your point, Chris, we've seen them give up a lot of open threes for an opportunity to either pass the ball off inside or just to attack the rim. So we'll see if that changes at all moving into this game.
Well, you know, Henry Carr, they've even though they're in the lead, you still like to see them change up the philosophy just a touch maybe in the second half.
Yep. Here's Dubrian in now.
And they're stolen, but Stuka steals it right back and then gives it right back to Henry Carr. Denier Campbell. Griffin. Drives baseline. Wide open look, Shea Linton Brown.
Great ball movement. Just got to finish.
And it looks like it's going to be a foul on Griffith, push in the back. And
I
that's
don't
his
know what they're
first
talking
foul. Yeah. 3:02 to go here in the half. And lead back down to single digits. Oh, a lovely steal from Linton Brown. And then he goes and gets the finish. Great sequence there from Shea Linton Brown.
Fantastic use of the body. Just knocks his defender back in midair. Easy finish.
Great vision, Nawaga. Nawaga with the dunk.
I hate to say it, but I think Shaquan got caught there under the rim.
I'm really loving what I'm seeing out of Alex Nawaga here early on for Kings Christian.
They need to feed him the ball more. He's been getting to the line. He's been finishing when he needs to.
I didn't know he had that kind of like elevation on. That was great. Dubria underneath. One more. Linton Brown for three. Rims out. Rebound Nawaga.
And once again, we're liking the ball movement of Father Henry Carr. They're just not making shots at this point.
Drive baseline. Reverse not there. Rebound Clark. Griffith drives. How that wasn't an offensive, I don't know. And Dubria wisely opts to reset. Plays with some veteran savvy here, this Dubria. Misses the jump shot.
Once again, open looks, just not finishing.
Again, Kings Christian. Nice dish inside. And there's a foul by Clark.
It's going to be a travel, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a travel. 2 feet
John
before
Lewis
he got knocked
Morvan.
loose.
Jeez. Again, Kings Christian looks gassed. A lot of hands on hips, a lot of open mouths. You wonder if they might be better served for a quick timeout here because they've brought the lead back down to single digits, and you want to kind of keep it there before the half.
Absolutely, we've got 1:38 remaining. Coaches elect to play it out, Chris. See what happens.
What do I know, right? Yeah. Griffith.
That's why they don't pay us the big bucks, the big prep coach bucks.
So Nawaga called with a foul, and that looks like, that's one of those fouls like I'm tired, I'm just going to reach in because I'm too gassed to play real defense. So still not in the penalty, so it doesn't really hurt too much. It was Paulo inbounds, and there it is. Michael Paulo drives right hand. Can't catch a break today.
That's just been the story for Father Henry Carr. Certainly hasn't been for a lack of trying.
Sakota goes to the left hand, can't get it to go, but he'll go to the line and shoot two regardless.
Easy call for the referee there. Mid-air collision clearly affected the shot. And Sakota is going to get yet another chance to go to the line. And really, I think that's been the story for Kings Christian, has been in the second quarter, has been great lockdown, help defense, really clogging up the paints, and just getting to the line.
Misses that first free throw.
Not to be lost on this game so far as well, though, Chris, is Father Henry Carr just going ice cold from the field in this second quarter.
So, maybe the Vegas trip coming back to starting to settle in, creep in.
Yep. It's fun. Here we have a press going on here.
And finally, nice steal from Nawaga. Dish outside to the corner. Sakota. Lucas Sakota, big three from Kings Christian, leads down to 5 now. So I think Kings Christian's recognizing Dubria, only 5'8", 5'9", and they're long and athletic, and there they are, 2 steals back to back, and they've got 3-on-1 right here. And not sure why he opted to dish out when he was inside. Sakota, lovely dish inside. Just put the ball up. Don't dribble, son. So John Lewis Morvan, he's got to catch that and just put it up. No need to dribble there. So 20 seconds to go here in the half. Kings Christian made a game of it. There's Stuka. Kings Christian moving around for the last shot. Shot clock is off. Is it? No, it's not.
6,
yeah.
5,
4.
There we go.
Sakota, big three, air ball. And there's going to be 0.9 seconds to go. So Henry Carr is going to have a chance here to heave one up. Kings Christian thought the half was over, but there was no buzzer. And looks like Paulo's going to heave it up. And a valiant effort from Michael Paulo. So at the half, Kings Christian crept back in. It's Father Henry Carr with a 37-32 lead. I'm Chris McKee, joined by Ryan Greco. We're going to take a break, and we'll join you after the half. Give a check 1, 2, Michael.
Check 1, 2.
Here we go. So I'm Chris McKee, joined by Michael Meeks here, from the former member of the Canadian national team and longtime player in Europe. So Michael, you're out checking out some OSBA action. What brings you to the gym today?
Just checking on a couple players, and it's been a while since I've seen both teams play, and I like to just keep my eyes on them as the year goes on.
Nice. Yeah. So where are you looking to recruit the guys for?
Well, our next cadet team. So there are probably several players that we've been keeping an eye on over the years, and that's the new group of kids that are coming into our program. This will be the first year for them.
So you're a Brampton guy?
Yeah, I went to high school in Brampton.
Where'd you play in Brampton?
Cardinal AJ.
Cardinal AJ? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm a Toronto guy. I played in the TDC AA. I guess what I'm saying. It's great to be back here. So, from your days, we're kind of a similar age bracket, but don't tell anyone.
Right.
How much has the game changed, especially at the high school level here in Ontario? I mean, night and day from your day.
A little bit. I mean, in terms of the way it's played, I think it's actually kind of similar. There's definitely it's more higher profile now. Like it's, the community is really involved and a lot more aware. With social media and things, you would walk down the street and not everybody would know you play basketball today. If you play and you're at any kind of level, everybody knows who you are. And it's great to see the support tonight in this gym. They've got a great tradition and history over the last couple of years. So
going back to you played at Canisius in the NCAA, and back in that time that was the thing. Everyone from Toronto, no matter how good you were, that was pretty much a lot of the options was you're going to go play at Canisius, just over the border. There's so many more options available for these young guys now. Any part of you sort of wonder, hey, what could have been?
Not really. I mean, I was recruited by a lot of schools. I wound up back at Canisius, like transferring, but I think the big difference now, because there were a lot of guys back in in our time that could have went D1. Like the CIS was filled with players that were able to play at that level, but the recognition wasn't there. Not a lot of players got noticed. And again, I think with a lot of our kids nowadays playing on the AU circuit, they're in front of the eyes of these coaches a lot more often. When we were growing up, it was rare that a club would actually go travel down south and play. So college coaches wouldn't get a chance to see you. They didn't have, like a cadet team that was playing internationally where the best players are getting to play. So the buzz around our athletes, it's justified. Like they're playing and they're doing some great things in a lot of different environments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, back in our day, there was that one game every year that it was the Toronto versus Detroit kids that they would do, and once in a blue moon, TSN would pick it up, and it's really in stark contrast to the attention these young guys are getting today. So when you're talking to these young guys and you get the chance to speak to them, is what's some of the sort of initial steps you explain to them, like, hey, you want to play at another level, this is what you need to do?
I mean, the younger you are, no matter what point in your development, it's always about the work, and this is a sport, a game, a business. It's either you work or you're going to get outworked. So if you love it, it's going to be an easy road. If you don't like to sweat and you don't like the burn when you're running lanes or doing these drills that are very monotonous, it might not be the best option for you because it doesn't go away. It just gets harder and the competition gets tougher. So it's about how much you're willing to work. And then when you get your opportunity, you're going to make the most of it.
So, I mean, you were part of the National League program for a long time. Any sort of, key memories looking back? I know you have a silver and a bronze in a couple FIBA tournaments. What sticks out as sort of a highlight for you?
Definitely, getting to the Olympic Games. I think that's kind of, even when you hear guys that play in the NBA now, it's, the NBA is great, but the best guys from the NBA are going to get to go against the U.S. are going to go against the best guys from Canada, are going to go against the best guys from Spain. So it's literally the best of the best going at it. playing for your country. Whenever you get opportunities to do that, it's great for one thing to see where you're at, but it's really good to just measure what you need to work on, or how much better somebody is than you or your country for that matter.
So, you're out here scouting these young guys. What are some of the key attributes you're looking at from these guys, other than, hey, this guy can put up 35 points in a game? What are some of the other things you're looking for?
So that's part of my role, being the manager of youth development with Canada Basketball. It's like we scour the country, and we're always looking for, as early as we could identify them. And a lot of the kids on both these courts have been a part of our junior academy, so that's the best grades, 7th graders and 8th graders. And from there, they get into TAS in high school, and then we kind of monitor their daily training environment, whether it be with the club or their schools, to see how they're developing and progressing as they go. And it's really the length, the athleticism. Then you combine that with the decision making and the IQ. Are they getting the right nutrition? Are they doing the right things in the weight room with their strength and conditioning? So many things go into, making an elite athlete. And we're always, some might hit it early, some might hit it in 7th grade and get it and carry it forward. Some might not really tick all the boxes until maybe a grade 11 or grade 12. But we're always trying to monitor and just see when they're ready, to come into the environment and train and play for us.
So you watched a bit of the first half here. Henry Carr got out the gates pretty quickly, and King's Christian, you talked about some of those mental mistakes in there. There was plenty of them by the guys in purple early on. Seemed to settle down in that. So your take on the first half, what you saw here?
Yeah, I thought the pressure from Henry Carr and the rebounding was great. I mean, Kings really had a tough time keeping them off the boards, and whenever they had a turnover, Henry Carr was sure to capitalize on it. But that's one of the part of being a young team. I think Kings Christian is probably the youngest team in the OSBA, and I'm always excited to watch them. The last time I saw them actually live was about a month and a half ago, and I'm looking at them now, and they're all, their arms are a little bit bigger. They're making better decisions. Now it's a 5-point game at half. A month and a half ago probably would have been a 15-point deficit at half. I think this is a team, as you go forward, these guys will all be back next year. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
No doubt, yeah. Well, Michael, thanks for joining us. Hey, if anyone needs to get a hold of you, Twitter handle you want to drop out there?
No Twitter.
No
Twitter, but it's mmeeks@basketball.ca. So I'm always on the ground. I'm always in the gyms. People should be able to find me.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us, Michael Meeks.
All right.
Enjoy the second
half.
half.
For having me.
God bless.
Take care.
Get off. Oh, they caught me off air there for a second.
Here we go. Back to the action. I'm Chris McKee, joined by Ryan Greco. So Kings Christian crept back in here. We got Henry Carr with a 5-point lead, 37-32. Ryan, you want to run through some of the first half stats?
Of course. We first off, we've got Shea Brown, who's leading all scorers right now at this point with 12 points. Also getting some good work in from the line. We also have McNish, who was a beast down low in that first quarter and a half there, finishing with 9 points in the first half. Also, we have, just looking around here, Sam Thompson with a couple of buckets himself. We also have Suka with 8 points at this, Sukota, with 8 points so far as well, leading all scorers. And there's a huge block there.
Stuka with the block.
He's been having himself a very good game. Stuka with 8 of his own in the first half as well.
Drives, lovely dish, Thompson. Baseline jumper, can't get the roll. Rebound, McNish, Henry Carr ball. Akende comes up with it.
And here's Akende now, who had a bit of a rough start in that first half. See if he can get going.
Rebound, Clark puts it up off the glass.
And Clark, he had a couple of huge offensive rebounds to keep the plays running for Father Henry Carr during that initial run that had them up so much.
No doubt. Wide open look, Stuka. Doesn't want it. Sakota, jumper, nothing but net. I believe that was a 2. Lucas Sakota, lead down to 4, 39-35. Crusaders just hanging on. Baseline drive, Akende. He had McNish wide open. Didn't want to use him. Shea Linton Brown. Baseline dish turnover. And now Kings Christian's got numbers. He's got to recognize Sakota. Wide open 3. No, doesn't want it. Baseline jumper, rims out. Rebound not there. Thompson can't get it to go. And now Henry Carr's got numbers. Inside the Paulo. Finally, Michael Paulo with the finish.
Michael Paulo, another one of the top scorers here for Father Henry Carr. A very quiet night so far. We'll see if this second half will have a different story for him.
Baseline jumper off the side of the board. Bit of an ugly shot from Shamar Walker. Brown dishes Paulo wide open 3. Michael Paulo with the 3. And Kings Christian wants to think about it. So the lead was down to 4. It's back up to 9, 44-35. Henry Carr starting to settle down here early in the third. So that was a bit of a treat getting to chat to Michael Meeks. It's a guy that, I grew up. He's a few years older than me, and obviously followed his career at Canisius and then as well with the Canadian national team. And it's cool to see he's out scouting some of the young guys for the Canadian national program. So if you're out there, don't forget to subscribe to the OSBA YouTube stream. And if you're out there in Twitter world watching, drop us a line. My Twitter is at Mr. McKee. That's MrMCKEE. And Ryan Greco is Ryan Greco 416.
That's right.
That's right. And hey, both of us write for the Tip of the Tower, so we drop a line to tipofthetower.com.
At Tip of the Tower, make sure you check that out, especially every Monday when we have the Week in Review. It's going to be a very busy January and February now with a lot of these teams going to be going down south for prep showcases. So if you want to get all the updates you need, instead of trying to search and find through your Twitter feed, you can just come to us and we'll have all the week's action for you available just at a click of a button.
Ryan does a great job of wrapping up all OSBA action, sort of in a good 500-600 words, and so you need your info, he'll condense it for you.
Absolutely. No tournaments too big or small to cover out there, especially in the world that we live in now where the connectivity is just so easy. It's not like the old days where you had to go and search and dig and find. Nowadays, you can just text a coach or you can check the Twitter update. So this way, we have it all there for you in one article. That way you guys can get caught up in a matter of 10 to 15 minutes.
So Paulo, great vision underneath to McNish.
And that's it. That's the things you want to see from your scorers, is when they're having a rough game offensively, you want to see them finding other ways to contribute towards the W. And that's a perfect example of it right there with Paulo.
Paulo, this is the point where you want to see him start to separate from the pack. The elite guys here, when things get tight, you want to see them doing things a little bit differently, and Paulo definitely doing that here early in the second half.
Absolutely.
46-35, 7:17 to go in the third quarter. Kings Christian inbounds underneath the basket. Dish inside, huge block.
That's a double stuff.
Shot clock winding down, Sakota, step back. Can't get the roll, rebound Kings Christian, and that's knocked off one of the Henry Carr guys.
I think that was off, Akende's leg there.
Trying to sell it, but that was right in front of us. Good effort.
Yeah, I think the ref even had a better view of that than we did.
So Alex Nawaga, a guy who really kind of helped, reel in the Crusaders and bring that lead down to 4. Him getting it done on both ends of the floor. He checks back in.
Very big lineup now on for Kings Christian. See if that's going to help them on the offensive boards. They're going to need a few of those.
Sakota looking for space, not there. From way downtown, too short. Rebound, Linton Brown. And there's Nawaga on cue with a big steal. Stuka drives off the glass, can't get the finish. Another block from Clark.
I have to say, I would have preferred the pass there.
Michael Paulo with the drive, can't get it to go. Rebound Nawaga. Now Kings Christian's got number. Thompson with the easy lay-in.
Well, we've got ourselves a track meet now, Chris.
McNish off the glass gets the roll and one. Anthony McNish.
And it looks like he was able to pop Nawaga in the face there a little bit with his shoulder. Nawaga was holding his mouth there for a second.
Lifted up his glasses.
Right.
Eyes getting a little watery probably.
Just unbelievable the size McNish has. And, just as important, though, you look at his footwork. You look at how confident he is when he makes his moves to the basket. This is a guy who knows he's either going to get fouled or he's going to miss it. He's either going to make it or he's going to get fouled. So he goes for that contact every single time. And he's strong enough where he can finish despite the contact.
Sakota to Nawaga. Jump shot not there. Thompson back into Nawaga.
One more pass.
Swatted away from Linton Brown.
He had a wide open guy underneath him.
Akende to Campbell. Linton Brown in the corner to McNish. He'll try it. And Paulo heads up, doesn't get boxed out. Paulo from the baseline for three. Rebound McNish. Henry Carr resets. And there's a travel called on Shea Linton Brown.
Once again, the same story we saw in that first half, Chris. A lot of great offensive boards by Father Henry Carr, giving themselves chance after chance. So it doesn't matter how bad you're shooting in a game. If you hustle like that, you're going to give yourself a chance to win every single time.
And how that wasn't a foul, I don't know. Finally,
There it is.
the second time he gets it. As Linton Brown hammers Morvan twice and finally gets called on the second one.
Brown obviously frustrated from that set of plays there, but at the same time, as a coach, you can't get too mad at that. He's making an aggressive mistake instead of a timid one, and then recognizing as soon as his man had him beat, well, you might as well foul him. He's going to have a clear path.
So a drive, can't get it to go, and Campbell comes down with the rebound. Akende, he's got Dubraya. Akende from way downtown off the back of the rim. Rebound Campbell. Lovely spin, swatted away. Alex Nawaga.
You see a spin move like that, most times, 9 times out of 10, he's going to get a look at the basket. But 9 times out of 10, you're not guarded by Alex Nawaga.
You see, guys, at 2020, I can't wait to see this kid in 2 or 3 years. He's some player. So a foul on Gabe Teneza. It's going to be a second. It's a hand check foul.
That's one of those calls that really could go either way. I mean, we've seen a bunch of hand checks in this game, and, they really don't call it unless it's pretty obvious in isolation plays like that.
Akende for three. John Akende from downtown.
Akende, that's his first made 3 of the game after I believe that's 3 attempts.
52-37. Henry Carr getting separation again. Dish outside. Teneza. Not there. Nawaga again. Can't get it to go. Campbell comes up with it.
Once again, that's the kind of play where you're going to see when he gets a little bit older, he's going to be going right to the basket on that. He's not going to be going straight up. He's got to recognize just how big he really is. He is by height the tallest guy on the floor, the longest guy on the floor. And despite the fact that he may be a few pounds lighter than some of the Father Henry Carr forwards, you've got to be able to recognize when you're that close to the basket and you can get higher than just about everybody. You want to lean in there and get your shot off.
He's a young man that if he was playing regular high school basketball, we'd be on his junior team. You know what I mean? And never mind in the OSBA.
Yeah, you see a few of them out here in the OSBA, and you just think to yourself, you go, where is it all heading? Where is it all heading when you're seeing kids that are 14, 15 years old doing as well as they are against some guys that are as old as 18?
Well, Nawaga, definitely a bright future. And again, he's in there battling, but he gets muscled by the bigger guy, McNish, underneath. That'll come in time. Paolo, wide open look, drives. Paolo's got to learn to go up with his left hand there.
Yeah, that's one of those things you still remember. They're still teenagers, right? Some of these guys, as fast and as quick as they are, and there you see trying to switch hands there on the quick dribble leads to a turnover. As great and as athletic as some of these kids are, their mind is still not necessarily there. So they could be going 100 miles an hour, but then you'll see them do something like that where they'll still go to their right instead of finishing at their left. And really, like you said, Chris, that just comes with time as we see a couple of new faces checking into the game now.
I'm an old man and my mind still isn't there yet, so I don't blame these guys. Yeah. So foul
some
on Jaden
mature
Gruel.
quicker than others.
Second foul. 3:44 to go in the third quarter. Henry Carr with a 52-37 lead.
I would say you can say real quickly is that, I've had a chance to watch some of the OSBA girls play, and their fundamentals are just ridiculous. It's, these are girls that are just as athletically talented as any teams you're going to see in the States. But you look at the way at how they move the ball around and how they finish under the rim compared to the guys who tend to like to use their athleticism more than their brains. And that's no shot at them. It's just kind of how you're raised as a guy when you're playing basketball.
Henry Carr pressing. Wide open look, didn't want it, and then has it stolen. When the shot's there, son, take it. Griffith, lovely finish.
There's Griffith using his size. He's a guy who's got some width on him. A little bit bigger and stronger than most of the guards you're going to see in this league, despite his lack of height, standing at about 6'2".
Teneza underneath. He's got to watch from behind. Teneza stops, swatted away by Griffith, and lovely play. Tiptoes along the line like he's Chris Carter.
Love it. Minnesota Vikings reference.
Yeah. I've never seen anyone tiptoe the line like Chris Carter, ever. So good.
He believes.
And of course, a former Ohio State Buckeye.
There you go.
Well, I'm excited. I'm going to be heading down next Friday to McMaster University. I'm covering some volleyball. The Ohio State men's volleyball team is in town playing McMaster. They're the number one. They're the reigning national champions, the reigning national player of the year, and their number one team heading into their season. And going to go down there and interview them for a story on Tip of the Tower.
It's going to be fantastic. Buckeye Nation, a very storied one. Happy to say I got some family members that have been a part of that family. The action getting a little close here as I nearly get attacked with the basketball.
Jalen Menzies almost took at our table. Jalen checking in.
There's the super sub himself, guy who walked in at our last game of the week against Lincoln Prep, literally stepped on and just locked down their best player and then went back and hit 2 consecutive three-pointers, all in a matter of 5 minutes, Chris.
And there's a big three from Jaden Gruel. Lead back down to 14.
We'll see if Father Henry Carr can hold on to this lead now.
Gruel got away with a foul. You could hear the slap on Dubraya. There's Menzie with the floater, Jalen Menzies.
And this guy, it does not matter how many minutes he gets. He just finds ways to contribute to the game every single time.
Hayho, second chance, gets it to go this time.
Hayho looked like he got slapped on the arm there.
McNish. Griffith for 3. Nothing but net. Griffith.
From way deep. That was NBA 3 territory. Such a smooth form that kid's got.
Stolen away, Denier Campbell. Dubria in the corner from the baseline. Not there. And now that track meet is again, there's Sakota.
Dubria nearly with the steal.
And there's a foul. So foul on Jalen Menzies. There's the young guy coming in, maybe a little bit too amped. Not the smartest of fouls. They had 2-on-1.
And there's head coach Stevanovic was not impressed at all with Sakota's decision there. Trying to attack the basket on 2 defenders. Sakota almost kind of got away with one there. You never want to see a guard trying to take on 2 guys. You know, even Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan passed the ball off when they had 2 defenders on them. They had faith in their teammates.
You mentioned the Kings Christian coach, Stevanovic.
Yep.
You know, he played his college ball at Pitt. And before that, played a little JUCO
Very intense man.
and had a 30.3 average. And there's Menzie again with another basket, but 30.3 average to lead the JUCO ranks in the States. That's impressive.
And an 11 assists.
11 rebounds a game.
11 rebounds, averaging a double-double. And there's some great ball movement by Kings Christian.
Shamar Walker with the finish underneath.
And the press is on, and Father Henry Carr, they had some serious issues with this press at the end of the first half, but this time not an issue for McNish. You can see both teams now opting to press in this final minute of the third quarter.
Wide open look. Gruel, nothing but net. Jaden Gruel.
We'll say it again, smaller three-point line. Expect some of those shots.
Well, Gruel almost with the steal. Dubria picked up his dribble, not wisely. Either way, the game's gotten really sloppy here in the third quarter as McNish goes to the right hand, and a lovely drive and finish from Anthony McNish.
What a great finish there. We're starting to see a little bit of fatigue set in here for Kings Christian, just not able to rotate in time and get in front of their man.
Thompson can't back it down from the corner. Not there. Rebound Griffith. Blocking foul, and I can't see who's on the floor. It looks like Gruel, number 10, is going to be charged with that. And that's his third foul, Jaden Gruel.
It looked like Griffith almost got away with one there, almost turned the ball over because of that blocking foul. Just waiting just a little bit too long to find that man in the corner. But once again, you got to be good to be lucky, Chris. And he is very, very, very good.
Griffith hits the first. 14.7 seconds to go. Lead at 18 now. It was down to 4 late in the second.
It's interesting to note, we're seeing some of the guys on the Father Henry Carr squad here, the subs getting a few more minutes than the starters, it seems at this point. Seem to be that spark plug off the bench right now.
And a lovely finish. Coleman Stuka.
Stuka.
And Menzies at the buzzer.
No super sub magic that time, unfortunately.
So at the end of 3 quarters, it's Father Henry Carr up 68-51 over Kings Christian. We'll be right back after the break.
See you soon.
Do a quick yeah. So getting set for the 4th quarter of action. I'm Chris McKee, joined by Ryan Greco. So I had an article published this week on 2 Chainz and his college basketball career at Alabama State. I had the chance to interview the coach that recruited him to Alabama State back in '94, a gentleman named Clayton Harris, who's now an assistant with the women's Alabama State team. So I set all kinds of records as far as views on SB Nation.
Nice.
But then I had the article stolen. So writers from Billboard, Yahoo Sports, Complex, and Uprocks all took the article, reworded it, claimed it as their own, and then put a link at the bottom that says, oh, if you want to read the original interview, it's right here. So it's nice to get the attention, but a little frustrating when Billboard and Yahoo are stealing your stuff.
Oh,
so check it out.
Throwing
Just Google
shade. There's
2
a nice
Chainz,
find under the basket.
Griffith with a lovely finish. So Google 2 Chainz college basketball and check out the Mid-Major Madness article. That's my article, the original.
There you go.
70-51. Henry Carr cruising here in the 4th. McNish comes up with it. Campbell drives, switches to his right hand, and he's going to go line and shoot 2.
And there's Campbell opting to try and get himself back on the stat sheet a couple of times there.
Shamar Walker is going to get charged with the foul for Kings Christian. So also yesterday, I had the chance to interview Will Wade, who's the head coach at VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University. They're off to an 8-3 start right now. They have one Canadian, Markel Fraser from Hamilton, Ontario, down playing with him. And then also a couple hours later spoke with Scott Cross, who's the head coach at University of Texas at Arlington, and he's got Kabayundi. It's a 7'1" guy from Montreal down there with the team. So both UTA is one of the early surprises in the NCAA.
Yep.
They've already beaten Texas and St. Mary's. Some big wins early on, so that's a team.
Some big basketball schools.
Come March, look out for UTA on your brackets, and obviously VCU every year is.
Yeah, they're always in the mix, if you will. One of those teams that you always seem to find their way either into the the Sweet 16. A couple of years you've seen them in the Elite 8.
Final Four back in 2011 under
That's
Shaka
right.
Smart.
That's right.
So Will Wade was an assistant then, is now the head guy at VCU.
Nice
Thompson
find.
can't get it to go. It's a battle still underneath. And again, that was Stuka.
Stuka, what a
Still
game he's
battling.
having.
Swatted out of bounds by my guy, Alex Nawaga.
Stuka having himself a fantastic game right now. So is Sakota. Those two have been the big offensive wheels. Of course, now not forgetting Alex Nawaga.
So sorry, the ref's trying to figure out if that was a shooting foul. They're not in the penalty yet. Dubraya from the parking lot just missed Menzie. He'll take it. Jalen Menzies for 3.
Menzies. You see him. I think he's 3 for 4, and personally, from the times I've seen him shooting the 3.
That's what you
this
want
season.
from your guys off the bench. Add a little spark, a little energy.
There's a turnover he just caused.
And he's hammered there, gets away with it. And I want to see them make that call.
Absolutely.
You see his head smack back, getting hammered. Griffith from way downtown. Rebound Stuka.
And Clythus, don't be surprised if you see him take that shot consistently. Last year at St. Joseph's, he made a killing off of taking shots out there, playing in ROPSA. A lot of players are not going to take that shot, let alone make it. A lot of guys left him alone out there. There were certain games he would finish with 30, 35 just because they weren't guarding that 3, and he would take full advantage of it, doing the same here in the OSBA this year.
So Kings Christian inbounds. Stuka from the corner. And there's Nawaga, tries for the putback, and Campbell comes down with it.
Great defense, though, there by Father Henry Carr in the paint. Everyone jumping straight up, not opting to try and throw the body in.
Menzies, really impressive. Lovely dish inside. And again, no need to put that ball on the floor, catch it and put it up. Old habits die hard, right?
Yes, they do.
Nawaga, the floater, not there. And there's the putback from Stuka.
And there's that thing again where you kind of want to see Nawaga just go in and just cram it down. He had both of his defenders in the air. Why not go for it?
73-55, Henry Carr cruising. Menzies, why not? Can't get it to go. Rebound Sakota.
Still a relatively comfortable lead here. 18-point lead for Father Henry Carr.
Turnaround from Thompson. Can't get it to go.
That's
Campbell
just bad luck.
with another rebound.
Just bad luck there. Did almost everything right.
Menzies is fouled. I don't know whether that's on Nawaga. No, that's on Jaden Gruel. That's his 5th foul, isn't it?
It's another thing to, I believe so, yes. And one thing to bring up here, Chris, once again, we're going back to that favoritism of the dominant hand. Jalen Menzies there tried to turn with his right hand, although I guarantee you he was aware of the fact that there was 2 defenders cutting in on him on that angle. All he had to do was turn around with his left and feed it back out to Griffith and work the ball around. Instead, he opted to try and go with his dominant hand into 2 defenders. And once again, this thing that we've been discussing is just with time, you're going to see these guys able to get a little bit more comfortable with both hands. It's so effective. It just makes such a difference. and you don't need to lift any extra weights. You don't have to do anything particularly crazy training-wise, but if you get comfortable with both hands, it opens up the entire other side of the floor for you.
As Jaden Gruel, number 10, is just fouled out for King's Christian College. The news doesn't get any better. They're down by 18. 73-55 with 6:40 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Griffith, one other thing you realize, sometimes you look at the stat sheet and you go, he had how many points? Well, when you take into factor of teams that can hit the free throw line consistently, that's how guys end up with 40 points.
We're going to see DeShante Stevens for the first time. He's going to check in for McNish. DeShante, 6'3" guard, class of 2018.
And gets a steal right away.
Steal. Put it up some, why not?
Absolutely, go get yours. Yeah. You're up 18 with 6 to go. Go for it. I don't think the coaches mind either, but they'll never admit it.
So from the corner, Stuka, big three for King's Christian.
Still up by 17, though, is Father Henry Carr.
And Stevens. Menzies from the corner. He'll take it. Why not? Rebound, Stuka.
You're starting to see now King's Christian letting Father Henry Carr take those shots. They're
Teneza and Stuka with the putback.
Fortunately, though, only Jalen Menzies was down there. Very small lineup for the Crusaders right now, Chris.
Menzies drives. I love this kid because, as soon as he gets a sniff of it, it's like he attacks, and that's what you want to see. That's one of those things you can't coach. You either have it or you don't.
You look at a lot of the smaller guards in this league, guys like Jordan Henry and Anton Vernon, and you see the incredible speed and quickness that these players have. And when they're attacking the basket, it's exactly like that. When you see a guy like Jalen Menzies, it's good to see guys that are coming off the bench, and they have that knack to attack the basketball just as much. Even Ben Kwawakume from Vaughan Prep, he's another guy who, last game of the week, last week, he smallest guy on the floor by far, sitting maybe at 5'9", 5'10". And this guy had 10 points all at the rim by attacking the basket and going up against one of the bigger teams in TRC Academy. And when you see these players putting together attacks to the rim like that, it's only going to bode well for you when you go to the line.
Lucas Sakota drives, gets a left-handed kiss off the glass. And Henry Carr wisely working the ball around, trying to work this clock down. And finally, Michael Paulo hits a big three.
Paulo, all the time in the world. There's Menzies with the steal. What a find.
Denier Campbell with the dunk. All I know is I want Jalen Menzies on my team. Love this kid.
And he can dunk, too. If you ever go to check out Twitter, Father Henry Carr's Twitter feed has his video of him doing a self alley-oop. And he gets blocked there, though, by Sakota, who's no slouch either. He's had a great game for King's Christian. May be all too little too late, though. But at the same time, 5 minutes is a lot of time. There's
King's
a timeout
Christian
now.
Needs a timeout. They need a blow. So 5 minutes exactly left in the game. Henry Carr cruising up 81-62. So I'm Chris McKee, joined by Ryan Greco in the booth. I'm normally the play-by-play guy for the Durham College men's and women's basketball as well as the men's and women's volleyball. And I've done a couple of games up there with Orangeville Prep and Athlete Institute here for the OSBA. My first time here checking out Henry Carr and King's Christian. Great afternoon of basketball. So a lot of these students almost done for the Christmas break. And I got one more class myself tomorrow and then off for about 7 to 10 days. Can't wait for it. So again, if you're out there in Twitter world, drop us a line. My Twitter is @Mr. McKee. I'm always posting articles I've written covering NCAA basketball as well as some of the Toronto sports. And Ryan Greco next to me's Twitter is @RyanGreco416.
Hi, y'all. Been a good game. Sorry, Chris.
It's been fun. I was going to say 81-62 in the home stretch here.
We have seen Kings Christian, though, come back from a deficit this big earlier in this game. And in this very gym, we saw Father Henry Carr pull a 40-point swing on Lincoln Prep. So by no means is this game over yet.
Big rebound, Kings Christian.
Coach Stevanovic for Kings Christian. Screaming box out. Big block there.
Denier Campbell swatted away. And there's Stevens. Can't get it to go.
Not seeing a lot of rotation on some of these threes right now. Something you want to kind of see these guys get a little bit more consistent with their shooting if they're going to take those shots.
Stuka stops, pops, and drops.
Holds the hand up. Nice little flick of the wrist. Very confident shot. Even better bucket.
So the Kings Christian bench, which is right to our left, still screaming to attack.
Very involved in the game, and that's something you want to see. I mean, this is a team that's 0-6 in the league. Most teams get a chance here as the time winds down.
Akende with an air ball.
Just getting so involved, it's good to see.
Well, Thompson, turn around, put it up. He's standing underneath the basket. He wants to pass the ball.
I think the coaching staff's agreeing with you right now, Chris.
So Stevanovic, the coach, is saying exactly what I'm saying. Don't pass the ball in the paint.
Yep. I guarantee you we would have just as much colorful commentary from Coach Melnick if we were on the other side of this media table here. He's one of the more animated guys, without a doubt, in the Toronto district.
Well, he doesn't have a lot to shout about other than maybe that second quarter where they got a little sloppy, but for the most part, it's been Henry Carr from the get-go.
We've seen a lot of push-aways from Melnick, a lot of arms crossed, a lot of crouching down, kind of putting his head down whenever there's a bad turnover, but no screaming yet.
I think it's one of these games, when they've been the better team all afternoon. This is one of those games where you got to ease off because, when they are facing the, Orangevilles and Athlete Institutes and Bill Carruthers, it's, that's the time when you're going to be all over them.
Definitely. And I just want to bring up real quickly again, I hate to beat a dead horse, but once again, Sam Thompson, instead of going against the lone defender with his left, decides to use his dominant hand and finds himself flying into two bodies. Doesn't even get a chance to get the shot up. Gets away with a foul, but a more disciplined team, Chris, and that's a turnover.
It's the Utes, man,
Without a doubt.
It'll come, yeah.
And Thompson now checks out of the game.
And notice he went as far away down the bench as he could from the coach. Why? That's a veteran move right there.
There you go.
Yeah. Sakota drives, switches to the right hand. A nice finish, Lucas Sakota.
Yep. And for all the turnovers, we're still seeing some very promising things, as we always do from Kings Christian. Just got to put it together for a full game, to be honest.
Paulo drives, can't get it to go.
Second time he's been too strong going to the basket. He's just got to kind of figure it out there.
I'd like to see him take that a little harder, take it to the hoop instead of go for the lay-in.
And that's the thing, too. You said, we're sitting here, we're two white guys sitting at about, 6 feet tall, 6'2". We would kill for the day where we could be 6'5" and just cramming it down. And I can imagine both of us are going, why don't you just take and dunk it, right?
Hey, remember, I was the starting point guard on my high school team. So.
Tired of watching all these other guys dunk on people. You want to get involved. Yeah, I was lucky if I could squeeze it on a fast break.
Knocked away by Shamar Walker. So 2:49 to go. And Henry Carr is playing out the stretch here. And there's Stevens. Linton Brown shot that one from Richmond and John pretty much.
Not exactly the shot you really want to take right now. It's still only a 13-point game. Now it's an 11-point game. This is one good run away from being close.
Nice baseline jumper from Stuka.
Good idea to slow it down there.
Paulo, nothing but net. Michael Paulo.
Paulo, that's his sweet spot right there. That's the second time he's hit from that corner. Or from the wing, if you will, if you want to be specific.
Teneza to Nawaga. And he can't get that. He's got to work on that sort of short to mid-range jump shot.
Or just go right to the basket.
Linton Brown heard that. Nawaga says, I don't think so.
A great rejection there. Makes it up for it on defense.
Stuka,
Great shot.
he's got that mid-range jump shot going.
Yeah, absolutely textbook finish. You could just tell by the way he pulled up that was going to be nothing but net.
And I'm not sure what that was from Stevens, but Nawaga can't keep a handle on it.
Once again, some much-needed encouragement, though, in a sense, from the head coach there, Kings Christian, saying, hey, don't worry about that one. Everyone's doing the right thing. Sometimes you just got to have your hands ready when the chips are down.
So the lead at 12, I mean, it's not impossible, but
I mean, Chris, I don't see them taking that press off. What if it's not broke, don't fix it. They've been able to take themselves from being down by 22 down to 12 in a matter of, 2 minutes?
Someone's going to have to hit a 3.
I think they'll live with those deep threes from Father Henry Carr. They've been making them, but not enough for them to say, okay, we're going to come out now and try and guard you.
So Coach Melnick, what do you think? Does he go back to his starters here for the last minute 28, or does he let the young guys try to figure this out?
Well, he does have his 2 starters on the backcourt in Paolo and Brown out there already. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if you bring McNish is already out there as well. I mean, if this is the lineup that you started with, unless you have any ideas of bringing in some bigger bodies, which he won't, these are all guards on the floor right now, Chris. Even if you look at, who's that over there? If you're looking at Denier Campbell, he's only sitting listed at 6'2", and he's trying to guard 6'7" Nawaga. So once again, this is an all-guard combination.
And there's that turnover Kings Christian needed. Now they got to be wise with the bucket. It's Sakota. He's going to get another shot at it. Sakota. Floater, and it's an air ball. A little bit too amped there. If he hits that 3, things are going to get a little tight around the neck for Henry Carr. So Coach Melnick wants the timeout now.
Now we're starting to see that animated voice come into factor.
So they got the steal. It's what they wanted, but just couldn't finish.
Once again, though, I think one thing that, and talking about the young kids here, you got Sakota there 2 times deciding to try and do it himself. I understand, if you're having a good game and you're feeling it and you feel like you can get those shots off, but we've seen him time and again in this game almost be his own worst enemy by opting to take difficult shots instead of passing it off to either an open teammate or just recognize the situation. You've got a team full of guards that are guarding you at this point, and I understand, you want to move into the basket, but even if you kick it out and just create some space and attack it and then cut into the lane again for a quick pass and a bucket, that's also entirely plausible right now. Your tallest guy on the floor that's guarding you is a natural shooting guard. And if that's going to be the case, then really I think it's more important that you, as the point guard, start facilitating a little bit more, getting guys open shots as opposed to trying to just do it all by yourself, especially when you have a player such as Nawaga playing in the post.
So here we are, 1:06 to go. Henry Carr up by 12, and they've got the ball in the inbounds.
Nice spin move. Even better finish.
Lovely finish from Denier Campbell.
That's it there. And once again, it shows the depth of Father Henry Carr. There's a guy who's only played about 4 minutes in this game, and what composure to finish under the rim like that. And that may have done it, actually.
Well, Sakota, Teneza for 3. Not there. Stuka with the rebound, gets it to go. They need a turnover here, or a foul at least. And there's the turnover. They want it. No. Loose ball. The ref. Yeah, the ball's kicking around. Let him play. Yeah.
McKee's getting involved here.
And so Coach Stavanovich to my left is on the same wavelength as me. And so here we are, 32.9 to go, and that should be just about it.
Barring the greatest comeback in OSBA history.
I don't see Reggie Miller on the floor in Burgundy right now, so I think this one's done. So it's been a fun afternoon of basketball. Good
Absolutely.
Christmas break action. Enjoyed this. So what's your plans for the holiday coming up?
Well, definitely just spending a lot of time with the family, staying home. Happy to say that the significant other is in town. Usually she's over in Germany playing professional soccer, so shout out to Mönchengladbach out in Germany. But above all else, just time with the family. Take advantage of it, right? How about yourself, Chris?
Yeah, a bit of the same. I'm excited. This Saturday, a good friend of mine, he has rented out the Ricoh Coliseum, It's our Christmas Eve tradition, so we get to go play shinny on the
Nice.
Rico on Saturday, so that'll be a lot of fun
Great finish there.
as the Kende gets the finish. And yeah, just enjoy the family. I got a little gym membership for over the holidays, and try to keep a few of these extra pounds off before I head back to school.
There we go. The time winds down. There's your final. Father Henry Carr, 88. Kings Christian Collegiate, 74. What a fantastic game. I mean, back and forth battle. We had a little bit of everything, Chris. We had some great interior defense and offense, had some fantastic fast breaks and big, deep three-pointers. Some very worthy highlights.
Player of the
this
game quickly before we shut down. What's your thoughts?
I think I'm going to have to go with Anthony McNish. A bunch of huge offensive boards, great finishes under the basket to really get that the beginning of that of that finish.
So McNish definitely for Henry Carr, and I thought Nawaga for Kings Christian was the guy.
Oh,
so
absolutely. Huge blocks.
For Ryan Greco, I'm Chris McKee. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you after the holiday break.
Take care of yourself. See you January 11th.